Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr, and today, earlier this week, we learned of the passing of Willie Mays, who many consider could be one of the best players. Well, he's definitely one of the best players to ever play baseball. Some may argue that he is the best player to ever play baseball, best all-around player. And I've seen a couple of tabletop people actually doing Willie Mays tribute games where they will play out a game with Willie Mays in it. And it just so happened that in my Payoff Pitch League, my Payoff Pitch Hall of Fame League, that the next one of the next games that was coming up was a game that Willie Mays would be playing in. So I figured I would do the same here today and play out one of those games. But before we do that, let's just take a look at Willie Mays himself. This is baseballreference.com, obviously. Obviously a Hall of Famer, MVP twice, All-Star 24 times, Gold Glove 12 Gold Gloves. He was Rookie of the Year. He has batting titles, All-Star MVPs, all of the accolades that you could think he has. And if we look at the career stats here, pretty incredible, obviously. We have 660 home runs, 339 stolen bases, OPS plus of 155, which is great. 555 or 557 slugging, 384 on base, 301 batting average. So again, just based on the stats here, one could make the argument that he may be the best player of all time. Obviously, there were better hitters than him, career-wise. Babe Ruth being the titan up there, but Willie Mays was also putting up great numbers in what many would say is not a hitter's park. But again, aside from just offense, he was a great five-tool player. He hit for average, he hit for power, he stole a lot of bases in his career, known for great fielding, something that we can't say the same thing about, let's say, Ted Williams or Babe Ruth necessarily. So just a great all-around player. Of course, Babe Ruth has the pitching years that also boost him up a little bit, which Mays did not. But I think I could definitely see the argument that he could be the best all-around player of all time, aside from just all of the groundbreaking stuff that he did during his time. So a very lengthy career. I did not get to see him play. His last season was the year I was born, so I never got to see him play, of course, in person. And even by that year, he is well on the decline here at 42 years old in 1973. But again, he had 1 year lost to military service. That would have, a prime year here that would have probably boosted the stats some. And, earlier, actually yesterday, Major League Baseball played not at the Field of Dreams that they played at the last few years, but at the Negro League Stadium there where Willie Mays also played. And so I think a fitting tribute to him that they played there. It's a shame that he was not alive to be able to see that game. But definitely a good tribute to him there as well. Now, with all of that said, turning as we will from Willie Mays to the game in question today, which is part of my Payoff Pitch League. And this is season 2 of the Payoff Pitch League, where 3 American League and 3 National League teams of Hall of Famers and 1 team in each league of non-Hall of Famers compete to see who is the best. And in season 1, I play a third of a season, by the way. So a 54-game season. And in season 1, Willie Mays did not actually do the greatest. He played for the Los Angeles Dynamos, who finished 27-27. Here are, it's going to be very hard to see this, but his stats in the season were he hit 247. He did hit 13 homers. Did not steal a base. But again, a lot of that's due to the season that I'm using here. In fact, the season that I'm using is 1954, which he was MVP that year. Hit 345, a 411 on base, 667 slugging with a 1078 OPS. So one of, if not the best offensive season of his. You know, one could make an argument of other offensive seasons, but definitely the best OPS season of his. But one that he did not steal a lot of bases. He had 8 stolen bases and 5 caught. So it wasn't until a few years later that he was really stealing a lot of bases. So that's why his steal numbers are down in the season that I'm using here in 1954 for him. That being said, the game in question today is between the Houston Hoots and the St. Louis Wizards. He is actually on the St. Louis Wizards this season, and the St. Louis Wizards were the National League champions last year and played in the World Series against the Detroit Rockets, a team of American League non-Hall of Famers, believe it or not, and they actually lost to the Rockets in that season, or in the World Series, excuse me. So today we're having the Houston Hoots at the St. Louis Wizards. And so I welcome you to the ballpark. This is at Sportsman Park, where the Cardinals played in 1948, and the St. Louis Wizards will be playing today's game. So let's take a look at the lineups for today's game. Lineup for Houston first, where they will be, again, St. Louis will be the home team today. And, one other thing I guess we can check is that the standings so far, this is game 6 of the season, and St. Louis has had a rough start. They're 1-4. Houston a little bit better at 2-3, but the first game between these two teams this season. So for Houston, we have leading off in left field Tim Raines. Batting second, playing second base is Rogers Hornsby. Batting third, and in center field is Oscar Charleston. Batting fourth at first base is Jeff Bagwell. Batting fifth and DHing today is Willie Stargell. Eddie Matthews in the number 6 spot at third base. We have Chuck Klein in right, batting 7th. Catcher today will be Ted Simmons, batting 8th. And then finally we have Archie Vaughn, the shortstop for Houston, batting 9th. And the pitcher today for Houston will be their ace, Bob Gibson. So Willie Mays will have a tough go of it today against Bob Gibson. Now let's take a look at the St. Louis Wizards lineup. Again, all of these are Hall of Famers for both of these teams. Playing second base leading off is Joe Morgan. Batting second in left field is Stan the Man Musial. And batting third is Larry Walker playing right field. DHing today will be Duke Snyder in the number 4 spot. And Willie Mays himself, number 5 in the order, playing center field. And quite fitting, batting 6th is Willie McCovey playing first base today. Mike Schmidt will be batting 7th and playing third base. Pop Lloyd will be batting 8th and playing short for St. Louis. And finally, batting 9th is the catcher, Mike Piazza. And Rapid Robin Roberts, will be pitching today for St. Louis. So that's where where things stand. Sportsman Park in 1948 definitely favored left-handed power with a 1-54 wheelhouse range as compared to 1-27 for right-handed batters. And so, with all that said, let's get this started as Tim Raines steps in against Robin Roberts. And that right away is a wheelhouse. However, 77 is going to be a little bit too high to be in Raines' wheelhouse range. He gets a hold of it, but Willie Mays is under this one and catches it at the warning track for out number 1. Rogers Hornsby steps in. And that's going to be a tough 36, and he strikes him out. Hornsby down on strikes for out number 2. Oscar Charleston steps to the plate. Another Negro League great, Oscar Charleston. And we have a defense check. Defense is going to be center field error. That's Willie Mays out there. His error rating is a 3. That's going to be high, so a short fly ball that Mays has to run in to get to, but he does get there, and that's out number 3. So Mays involved in 2 of the 3 outs here in the first inning. And 3 up, 3 down for Houston. We now go to the bottom of the first as Joe Morgan steps in to face off against Bob Gibson. Morgan doing 3 for 7 to start the season here. And that's in play 45. And that's going to be a grounder back to the pitcher. Gibson tosses that one over to Bagwell for out number 1. Stan Musial steps in. He's 273 so far this season with just 1 homer. Definitely has a lot of potential to heat up here. That's going to be a tough 58. And Musial grounds that one to third. Matthews over to first for out number 2. Brings up Larry Walker. Walker is hitting .318 with no homers yet for him. In play 93, way too high, and that's a fly out to right. Klein under that one, and 3 up, 3 down for St. Louis. So we head to the bottom of this, or excuse me, we head to the second inning. No scores, no base runners yet either. Bagwell steps to the plate. And tough 60. Just past Bagwell's tough range. And he grounds that one out to third. Schmidt over to first. And that's out number 1. Willie Stargell steps to the plate. Stargell's hitting .308 this year with 1 homer. Tough 67. And Stargell grounds that one to short. Pop Lloyd over to McCovey for out number 2. Eddie Matthews steps to the plate. And that is a ballpark check, but a 97 is going to be way too high, so it's an in-play result. And a 25 in play. Matthews gets a little under that one and pops it up on the infield. Lloyd will haul that one in for out number 3. So we head to the bottom of the second. Still no score here in St. Louis. Duke Snyder steps in. Willie Mays on deck. In play 38. And Snyder dribbles that one back to the pitcher. Gibson throws over to Bagwell for out number 1. That brings up Willie Mays. Mays is only hitting .250 this year, but he does have a home run already and a triple and a double. Tough 05, and that is a strikeout on the corner. Rings him up. That's the first strikeout for Gibson. And Mays heads back to the dugout. One thing I did notice in the tribute games is that Mays did not do great in either of the tribute games that I watched. But you can't predict what's going to happen, and a single game is a small sample size and all that fun stuff. So that brings up Willie McCovey. And that's going to be a tough also. 92. McCovey does hit that one, but right to Klein and right. And we are already through 2 innings. Still no score. Speaking of Klein, he'll step in to face Robin Roberts. In play 48. And that's a grounder back to the pitcher. Roberts will take that one over to Bagwell for out number 1. Ted Simmons steps in. He's hitting 200 only this season. He did a lot better in season 1. But he does have a tendency to get on base. In play 49. Not this time, though, as that's a grounder down the first baseline. And McCovey will take that one himself to the bag for out number 2. Arky Vaughn. Vaughn is hitting 400, 4 for 10 this season. Tough 33. And that is just at the edge of his tough range. That will be the first base hit of the game for either team, as Vaughn is into first base with a single. I'll bring back up the top of the order. 2 outs. Tim Raines steps in. And Patient, 38. And Patient is a good description of this one, as Raines watches ball number 4. So just like that, with 2 outs, we have Houston threatening here with runners on first and second. Let's see if Hornsby can do anything with that. Ballpark. 26 is going to be a wheelhouse 88. It's high, but a very clean base hit. And that is going to score Vaughn, and Raines will get over to third on that one, on that base hit to center field. And the Houston Hoots take a 1-0 lead here in the 3rd inning. So after 8 straight outs to start the game, they get something going here with 2 outs. And still threatening here in the 3rd inning. Hornsby will not attempt anything on the base paths. Charleston steps in, runners on the corners. In play 89, well, that's going to get out of the inning for Roberts, as that is a grounder to second. Morgan will actually flip to Lloyd at second for the force for out number 3. But not before Houston gets on the board. And we take they take a 1-0 lead here into the bottom of the 3rd. Mike Schmidt steps to the plate. Patient, 35, and Schmidt draws a walk, a leadoff walk here in the 3rd inning. He's not going to go anywhere on the base paths, and Pop Lloyd steps in. 2 through 4 or 11, he's going to sack here. He will not. In play 89, it's a grounder to second. Lloyd has a little bit too much speed for them to complete the double play. But they do get Schmidt at second base for the first out. Okay. Lloyd is not taking his chances there on the base paths as Mike Piazza steps up to the plate. Number 9 hitter here. Patient, 97. That's going to be too high. And Piazza was ahead in the count, but he flies this one out to left. Raines is under it for out number 2. And we're back to the top of the order here. Joe Morgan. That's a tough result, and he strikes him out. So that's second strikeout for Gibson here, and that ends the 3rd inning. Still no score for St. Louis. Bagwell to lead off the 4th against Roberts. Tough 69. And that is a fly out to right. Walker's under this one for out number 1. Willie Stargell. He grounded out to short in his last at bat. In play 14. This time he drills one into the gap. And that's going to be a double. Stargell into second standing up. Houston with a runner in scoring position again for Eddie Matthews, who popped out to short last time he was up. Tough 51. Matthews behind in the count, but fights this one off for a single. However, Stargell is going to hold up at third base. So we have runners on the corners with one out. Matthews eyeing a jump with his 4 jump rating here. Roberts has a hold of 8. So 4-8. 4-8. And it was a 32. So it does look like Matthews is going to try to get to take second here. Piazza has not a great arm. B4 36. B4 36. And he will get a steal here. So Matthews gets a stolen base. Breaks up the double play chance here. And that will bring Klein up, or continue the at-bat for Klein. Tough 69. That's a grounder to short. Stargell will score on the play. Oh, wait. Stargell doesn't have great speed. And so, Tough, I usually subtract 2. Yeah, Stargell actually grounded to short. No, that's going to be, that was right at Pop Lloyd at short. And Stargell's actually going to hold up because he has no speed. So Simmons will step in now with 2 down. Patient 17, that's going to be a walk. So Simmons walks to load the bases up here. Roberts in a little bit more trouble here in the 4th inning. And Arky Vaughn will have a chance to do something here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Tough 35. That is just past his single range here. Vaughn pops that one up on the infield. So St. Louis gets out of the jam here. Keeps the score 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. So Houston threatens again, but not able to do anything. And we head to the bottom of the 4th as Stan Musial steps in against Bob Gibson. Tough 75. And that is a lazy fly ball to center field. Charleston under that one for out number 1. Larry Walker steps in. Tough 13, and he strikes him out. That's strikeout number 3 for Gibson. Gibson's cruising so far in this game. Duke Snyder stepped to the plate. He's only hitting .222 this season. Patient 83, and that's going to be too high for Snyder's patient range. He's ahead in the count, but he grounds this one to second. Hornsby over to first for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Cardinals here in the 4th. Or excuse me, the Wizards. St. Louis Wizards. We head to the 5th. Top of the 5th. Still Houston up 1-0 here. And they are back to the top of the order. Tim Raines. In play 75. And Raines grounds this one to short. Pop Lloyd over to McCovey, and that's out number 1. Hornsby. Tough 84. And that's another grounder to short. Another easy ground ball for out number 2. See if Roberts can get a 1-2-3 inning here. He needs one of those. Ballpark. 40. That's going to be a wheelhouse 87, and believe it or not, it's just past Charleston's wheelhouse range. So he hits that one hard, but right at Morgan. And Joe Morgan flips over to first, and we have a 3 up, 3 down inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Houston hoots up 1-0 here against the Wizards. Willie Mays struck out in his last at bat. Let's see what he does this time. Tough 87. And that's going to be an easy ground ball to shortstop. Vaughn takes this one and throws over to first for out number 1. Willie McCovey. Patient 82, and that's a high enough result. Once again, McCovey ahead in the count, but grounds this one to Hornsby for out number 2. See if Mike Schmidt can get anything going. Tough 76. Oh, almost a base hit here. But instead, Charleston just gets to it. And that's another 3-up, 3-down inning. Gibson cruising so far through 5 innings. We head to the top of the 6th. Houston still up 1-0. Their cleanup hitter, Jeff Bagwell, steps to the plate. In play 67. And Bagwell, once again, just like he did last at bat, flies out to right. Walker under that one for out number 1. Stargell hit that double in his last at bat. Another ballpark check here. 50 is a wheelhouse, but 97 is going to be way too high. He gets under that one, but it's at the warning track. Walker up with it for out number 2. Stargell took that one to the wall, but not able to quite hit it. Just a few more feet would have done it. So Eddie Matthews steps in, 2 outs here. In play 50. And that's another flyout, this time to Stan in left. 3 up, 3 down here for the Hoots. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Houston clinging to that 1-0 lead here. Facing the bottom of the order. First with Pop Lloyd. Tough 49. And he strikes him out. Lloyd watches strike 3 on the corner. It's a 4th strikeout for Gibson here. And that brings up Mike Piazza. Trying to get anything going here against Bob Gibson. But he strikes him out too. Strikeout number 5. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Gibson in the 6th inning. And we're back to the top of the order here. Joe Morgan, let's see what he can do. In play 6, and that is a solid base hit, a double. I didn't say anything earlier, but that is the first hit of the game for the Wizards. A clean double for Joe Morgan. Left no doubt on that one. So they have the tying run here at second base with 2 down. Stan Musial steps in. Tough 56, and he's not able to get it done here as he grounds that one to Matthews for out number 3. So St. Louis finally puts their first hit on the board. But we head to the 7th here. A big pitcher's duel going on here as Roberts will face off against Klein. In play 90, and that's a ground out to second. Morgan takes that one easy for out number 1. Ted Simmons, he did walk in his last at bat. In play 22, and he's going to get a base hit here. Base hit for Ted Simmons, a good single there up the middle. So after a couple 1, 2, 3 innings, Houston has a chance to get something going here again. Vaughn, who started things off in the 3rd inning with the base hit. Ballpark. 82 is going to be in play 29, and that's at the very end of Vaughn's base hit range. That's going to be a single to right. Single to right in play. I believe he's going to get to third on it. Single first, third, right in play 7+, and Simmons is a 7 runner. Kind of a speedy catcher, actually. And runners are now on the corners with only 1 out. Tim Raines, chance to extend the Houston lead here. St. Louis playing for that double play, even though Raines is a tough double play to get. In play, 38. And Raines just gets that one just past the glove of Morgan at second for a base hit. And that, once again, Vaughn is going to get to third on that one. So we have runners on the corners still. Houston doing some damage here. They're now up 2-0. Raines not able to get a lead here. Still playing for the double play. In play 35. And Hornsby fouls that one back. Piazza will get to this one for out number 2. Just what they needed here to give them a shot at ending this inning with no more damage done. Oscar Charleston, he's 0 for 3 today. But he's not going to be 0 for 4 as Roberts leaves that one right in his wheelhouse. And Charleston takes this one deep. A 3-run home run for Oscar Charleston. And just like that, Houston puts up a 4-run 7th inning here. They're up 5-0. Roberts just shaking his head. He's going to try to get out of this inning. Tough 29, and he does. As Bagwell watches strike number 3 to end the inning. But not before Houston puts some distance between them and the Wizards. With a 5-0 lead here. A 4-run 7th makes it 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch. Gibson now has a good cushion to work with here. He's only allowed 1 base hit all game, and that was last inning's double by Joe Morgan. He settles back in here to face Larry Walker. Tough 30, and he strikes him out. Walker watches strike 3 go by. That's his 6th strikeout now. And that will bring up Duke Snyder. Tough 44, and another strikeout. Gibson seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on here. 2 straight strikeouts, and that brings up Willie Mays. Mays 0 for 2 today. Tough 39, but not this time as Mays gets a hold of that one and drills it in down the line. He's going to be into second base standing up with a double. Mays with his first base hit of the game. Just the 2nd hit for the Wizards. And McCovey now has a shot at doing something with Mays in scoring position. Tough 69, though, is not going to do it as that's a ground out to short. And once again, Gibson able to get out of the inning. But Willie Mays with his first base hit of the game. Unfortunately, St. Louis not able to really do anything with it. Roberts back out there for the 8th. He does, actually, no, he won't be. His fatigue is 8, and it's in the 8th inning, and he's allowed more than 3 runs, so he'll have to come out. So Roberts will pitch 7 innings. And that will probably bring up Dizzy Dean. Yeah, I think they'll bring in Dizzy Dean here, at least for 1 inning. All right, so Dizzy Dean in to relieve Roberts. And he'll face Stargell, Matthews, and Klein to start off the 8th. Ballpark right away. 51 is going to be a wheelhouse, and that is another home run for Houston. Stargell almost had a home run in his last at bat. Gets a hold of this one. Doesn't even leave any doubt on this one. And just like that, Houston's up 6-0. Matthews. Tough 98. That's a easy fly ball to right. Walker under this one. Route number 1. Chuck Klein. And he walks him. Klein takes first base. He is not going to go anywhere. Brings up Ted Simmons, who had the base hit in his last at bat. Tough 46. This time he lines it right to Morgan at second for out number 2. Arky Vaughn, 2 for 3 today. Scored twice. Tough 27, and he's going to have another base hit here. Base hit to right, but Tough, I usually subtract 2, so Klein is going to hold up at second base. Arky Vaughn, though, 3 for 4, and gets them back to Tim Raines, the leadoff hitter. Defense check, and this is not good, as Stan is not going to be able to get to this one. It falls in for a single. That's going to score Klein, and Vaughn is going to move to third. Houston extends their lead to 7-0 here. Raines not able to get a jump, so Hornsby steps in. Patient 51, and that is a double. Double into the gap. With 2 out, Raines is going to score. And Dizzy Dean just having a horrible inning as Houston scores 4 more runs here in the 8th. He'll face Charleston to try to get out of this one. In play 12, he's not going to do it. That is a single. That's going to score Hornsby. So they're going to give him one more batter here, and then probably this is going to be it for Dizzy Dean either way. Let's see what Bagwell can do. In play 25. Yeah, that's going to be it. As a single to left. Charleston's going to take third with his speed. And Dizzy Dean just gets pummeled in today's game. 5-run 8th inning here. So Dean only lasts 2/3 of an inning. And that will bring in Rube Marquard, who is usually who they bring in when the score is out of hand. Dean will hope to forget this this relief appearance. But we have Bagwell on first. Marquardt has a hold of 9. Bagwell has a jump of 4. Runners on the corners, so 4, 9, and a 50. Oh, yeah, he's going to attempt. B4, and that's going to be an easy steal of second. So Bagwell steals second base. Brings up Willie Stargell. Runners on second and third, still 2 out. Let's see if Marquardt can get him out of this. That is bad news. 36 is a wheelhouse, and Stargell is going to have his second home run of the inning. This time a 3-run shot. This game's getting out of hand here. Houston with an 8-run 8th inning here. Stargell, 2 home runs in this inning alone. The only save is that there are no base runners. All right, tough 82. That will get them out of the inning as Matthews grounds this one to second for out number 3 finally, but not before a lot of damage was done. Stargell bookended that inning with home runs. And the game is well out of hand now. But Gibson's still out there. He'll face the bottom of the St. Louis order. First with Mike Schmidt. And he strikes him out. That's his 8th strikeout now. Brings up Pop Lloyd. Tough 32 and another strikeout. Gibson, 2 strikeouts in the last 3 innings here. Or in each of the last 3 innings. Mike Piazza steps in. Well, he doesn't strike out, but he flies this one to left for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down inning. St. Louis not even putting up much of a fight in this one. And Marquardt is out there to face the bottom of the Houston order, starting with Klein. In play, 99, and that's a fly out to right. Walker under this one for out number 1. Feels like they've had to fight for every out here the last few innings. Defense. Shortstop range check. Lloyd does have a good range, but not good enough. A 1-36 is a base hit, and it's a 32. So Simmons, another single here. And brings up Archivon, who's 3 for 4 so far. And really not been able to get him out this game very easily. Wheelhouse 46, and they're not going to do it here either, as that's another base hit. Simmons moves to third with the wheelhouse. And Vaughn, 4 for 5 today. And the last couple of times, Raines has been able to take advantage of that. Let's see what he does here. Patient 36, and he walks him. That loads the bases. Houston may not be done yet. Brings up Rogers Hornsby. Ballpark. In play, 48. And fortunately, that's going to be a ground out to first. And a 2 means it's going to be a double play. So 3-6-3 double play will get them out of the inning. In a show of mercy for St. Louis. So we enter the bottom of the 9th. Willie Mays would be the 5th batter, but Gibson has just been cruising through this lineup. So we'll even see if he gets there. First up, Joe Morgan. Tough 99, and that is a fly out to right for out number 1. Klein under that one. Stan Musial for 3 today. Tough 25. That's going to be a base hit, though. He fights that one off for a single, and that's just the 3rd St. Louis hit today. Brings up Larry Walker. Tough 92. And that, my friends, is going to be the end of the game, as that's a ground out to second. Double play ball. Hornsby to Vaughn to Bagwell. And that will be the ball game. 4-6-3 double play to end things. So, you came to see Willie Mays. And Mays did go 1 for 3. He did have 1 of the 3 hits for St. Louis. But instead you were treated to a dominant pitching performance here from Bob Gibson. Gibson strikes out 5, 7, 9 batters in 9 innings, allows just 3 hits, walked 1, in a total dominating performance. And then on the offensive side, Willie Stargell, 3 for 5 with a double and 2 homers. And let's not forget that fly out to right was at the warning track. He nearly had 3 homers this game. Drove in 4 runs as the Houston Hoots put on a hitting clinic here, 13-0, and they out-hit St. Louis 17-3. So St. Louis's early season woes continue as they will drop to 1-5. Houston gets back to 500. They're 3-3. But that's where we will leave things. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Mays didn't have an amazing game, but he did have one of the 3 St. Louis base hits here against a very dominant Bob Gibson. So, thank you once again for watching. Head over to baseballmaelstrom.com if you want to follow the action of this project and my other project, which is a Best of the 1930s tournament featuring season ticket baseball or using season ticket baseball. Check those out over at baseballmaelstrom.com. Let me know what you thought of this game down below in the comments. Let me know what you think about Willie Mays. Is he the greatest ever? Let me know down below. And until next time, have a great evening.